soon I'm going to be playing in a new campaign. Yay! Which means I need to figure out what notebook I'll be using. So let's compare these 3 different player journals for D&D, and you can help me to decide which system to use. The journals I'm looking at are the Mischief and Misadventure Campaign from the Rook the Raven, the Hero's Notes from 1985 Games, and the Character Journal from Field Notes. All of these are made for 5th edition D&D, and one thing to note on the journal from the Rook the Raven, I have, I think, the first version of this, and I know they have updated some of the look and layout of some of the pages, but the basics remain the same, just as we're doing the, like, side-by-sides. It's a little dated compared to the other 2. Now, I've done in-depth reviews of all of these journals, and we'll make sure to link them if you're interested and want to check those out. In this video, I'm going to be putting them side to side and showing you how they compare to each other. And thanks to our viewers who suggested this kind of video. I hadn't thought of it, and it's a really cool idea. So some basics on the campaign I'm going to be in. I'm joining a D&D Wild Beyond the Witchlight campaign at a couple sessions in with some local folks. I'm so excited to be playing again. It's going to be in person at the DM's house, so I'm going to need something that's easy to throw in a bag and take with me as I'm headed out the door after getting our toddler to bed in the evening. If I was in an online game, I probably would also be looking at like some Notion templates like the player one from Minva, but since this is in person, I'd just rather not have a screen creating like a wall between myself and the rest of the table. It just, I don't know. I want that experience. I'm also usually the note taker of the group. I just love taking notes. So that is something I always keep in mind when picking out notebooks. I like to have space, but also having some structure is helpful, and I don't want to be lugging a tome around with me. And for simplicity, I'm going to refer to these notebooks as Rook and Raven, Hero's Notes, and Field Notes throughout this video. So all 3 of these journals have space to put in everything you would find in a character sheet. The Field Notes has the most dedicated space to details like backstory, ancestry, and class details, although the Hero's Notes puts the character details towards the end of the character section, and I would rather have that at the start. Now, since the Rook and Raven is a disc-bound system, it's got these little discs, you can move pages around to give yourself a lot of room to write out the backstory of your character. All 3 of these have what I call a quick reference spread. All of your basic stats, plus the stuff you most often need, like in combat, during sessions. Field Notes has the most dense spread, and I like that it has spots to mark exhaustion as well as death saves. It feels like it fits a lot on this spread. Field Notes and Rook Raven have a spot for common attacks, abilities, and spells. Hero's Notes has weapons and then spells on a separate page, so maybe not quite one single spread. Rook Raven also has transparent overlays. You can put them anywhere, but I've used them on this spread. It allows you to write in wet or dry erase and makes these spreads just much easier to reuse and mark up during sessions over the course of the campaign. You're not wearing down the page from, constantly erasing and rewriting. Now, if you're playing a spellcaster, I think the Field Notes and Rook Raven are the 2 better options. All 3 do have spots for spells. Hero's Notes only has 2 pages. And I like that the Field Notes gives you 3, and they have noted that these are the favorite and frequent spells, kind of an idea of like, you have more, but these are the quick reference. Rook Raven does have dedicated spell pages that include spots for level, name, brief notes, actions, type of attack, and the page number, which is very important. All 3 of the notebooks have sections for your inventory, Hero's Notes and Field Notes also have spots for downtime and companion notes. Field Notes also has spots to take notes on factions and a few extra things that feels a little bit more related to like the Adventure League. I want to say thanks to all of our patrons, especially Arvi. If you enjoyed the videos that we make and want to help us continue to make them and make them better, you can head on over to patreon.com/rollforinitiative and check out the perks of being a patron. Now, as far as session notes goes, Rook Raven gives you blank pages to fill in. There are some that have a bit of a template, like spots for location, session number, and date. And then they also have pages that are just lined or grid or quads, a whole bunch of different designs. Heroes Notes gives you over 40 pages that are just line notes. They are numbered, which is nice, and you can fill in the table of contents that's included. For Field Notes, they have notes broken down by level. Field Notes also has spots for campaign quotes and notes along with like a couple theories pages. Of the three, if you are an avid note taker, I would say go with Rook and Raven. I mean, it's just, I have added in a couple of extra packs in here, but it's the bigger of the three. Field Notes has a few quick rules references at the beginning, which is very nice. And both Field Notes and Heroes Notes have a spot for you to put like your name and contact info in case it were to be lost. Someone could return it to you. Let's look at the quality. All three are really good. Heroes Notes has the smoothest paper, so if that's something you're interested in, while Field Notes and Rook Raven both have paper that feels like slightly higher quality and less likely to bleed through, and that's kind of what I found with my pens. For Rook Raven, you do have options for the cover, artwork, and styles. Heroes Notes, you can pick the color, but the artwork is standard, and Field Notes, well, this is the cover. Now let's look at the prices. So the latest prices for Rook and the Raven are $42 to start for the campaign journal. It does come with a 4-pack of the character sheet pages, so you can use it for multiple characters if one dies, or even multiple campaigns. They also have a less expensive print-on-demand option that comes bound as a standard paperback, which they say you can cut out, punch, and put in your own disc-bound notebook. Now, I haven't seen the print-on-demand, so I can't really speak to the quality of that. Field Notes gives you 2 of these journals for about $20. Pretty good. And Dungeon Notes gives you 3 for $24, and it has this nice like little sleeve that you can kind of help keep them all together on your shelf if you want. So Dungeon Notes has the best price per notebook of the 3. So there you go. That's a comparison of the Mischief and Misadventure campaign from the Rook and the Raven, the Heroes Notes from 1985 games, and the character journals from Field Notes. Please let me know what journal you think I should use for this upcoming campaign. And if there are any other notebooks, journals, or note-taking systems you think that I should check out, let me know in the comments, as I really love making these kind of review videos for you all, and I love finding out about new notebooks and note-taking systems for D&D and other tabletop RPGs. I'll make sure to put a link to our playlist of all of our notebook reviews and character sheets up here so you can check them out. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time on Roll for Initiative. Bye! Heroes Notes from 1985, and the character journal from Field Notes. Nope, said that wrong, and a drop in everything.